this computer. Okay. All right. So we are recording, and I will later put this on YouTube, God willing. All right. So here we are. We are going to start the presentation. This is, and first, before I even go to start the presentation, I need a volunteer to read the first slide for me.
Yes.
Right. I have a volunteer to read the first slide.
I'll read it, but I don't see it.
Okay, yeah, I didn't put it up yet.
Oh.
All right, so here we go. I'm sharing the screen, and I'm going here first. All right, so this is part 3 to the emergent concerns amid COVID-19. All right, so here we go. My volunteer reader, are you ready?
Yeah.
Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
All right, let's go. Let's kick it off. All right, go ahead. Sister, read that for us.
Think you can't be fooled?
You just were. Read it again.
You just were. Read it again.
All right, so this is our first brain teaser. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Think you can't be fooled. You just were. Read it again.
All right.
Think you can't be fooled.
Wait a minute. What did you say, Sister Radia?
Think you can't be fooled.
So how many people read that as think you can't be fooled?
You
Right.
can't be
Me.
fooled.
I did.
Me too.
So
I did.
this was a
Think
little
you can't be.
this was a little brain trick. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it
Because you
tricked
went
my
to that
brain.
first you and then your mind took over. Kind of went on
Yep.
automatic pilot. All right.
Think.
Ah,
All right. So here's our second one. All right.
mhm.
Which one of these faces has not been altered in any way? Which one of those faces has not been altered in any way?
Now I'm scared to answer.
The one on the left.
Don't be scared to answer, y'all. Come on.
The one on the top. On
The red shirt.
right.
All right. Somebody
They
said.
all been
Yeah,
all
all
been
of them
altered.
been
They
altered.
all
upside
been-
down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you said they all been altered.
Which one? Whose face is not?
All right.
Who should?
Anybody got a solid answer? 'Cause
Now,
it's-
when you say been altered, would you consider the fact that they're all upside down, or you want us to look
No, I want
just
you to-
at?
I want you to look at them upside down and tell me which one hasn't been altered in any way.
The one in the red shirt?
All right, Sister Radia says the one in the red shirt.
Yeah, Sister Thakia and husband Jacob says the one in the red shirt.
Okay, they agree with the one in the red shirt. Who else? Anybody else got a guess?
Oh, I think I turned them
Pinstripe.
upside down. I see it. I see it now. The red shirt.
Right.
Is it
All
the
right.
red
So
shirt?
here it is, right side up.
Yeah, I turned it upside down to see it.
So,
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
Sister Smith got creative and she turned it upside. she turned the image around. So that was kind of cool.
Look
Good,
at that.
good
Wow,
job,
that's
sister.
funny.
But Sister Radia, you was
my
able
goodness.
to see it. You were able to see it without it being turned upright. So that was good, y'all. That was good.
Oh, my goodness.
So here we go. All right. So it looked like Sister Fatima just came in. So Alaikum, Sister Fatima. All right. And we are going to our next slide. I want you to see this. All right. And I want you to check this out. Tell me what you think about this. This is from a movie called Mother. All right. A movie called Mother. And this is from 2017. And I can say one thing, that the movie was horrible movie. All right. And the description, it says it starred Jennifer Lawrence, and they said that a baby is worshipped and ritualistically murdered and eaten.
Ooh.
Oh,
But now I want you to see
Damn.
this clip. I want you to see this clip because it's very interesting. All right, watch this.
thought it was I, mother.
Oh, goodness.
Oh.
Hmm.
Let's see this.
All right. So
Thank you for not showing that.
okay. Yeah, well, I stopped it there when the baby's neck was snapped. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you for not showing that.
All right. So now no, because this is
I
very
want
important.
to see it.
All right. But now check this out, because I want you to you missed something. You missed something. Last time, 2 weeks ago, we talked about subliminal messages. All right.
Right.
And subliminal messages aren't just taken in through your eyesight. Subliminal messages can also be taken in through your hearing. All right. Did anybody hear anything?
Thought it was
A lot of growling.
Heard the baby crying.
All right. So here we go again. Let's do this. Because I am going to come back and I'm going to I'm gonna play this again, but I want you to listen this time. I want you to really listen carefully.
I can hear. It doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
No sound.
Now, did anybody hear anything that time?
In the beginning, it sounded like growling or something like that.
All right. So since you didn't hear it, I'm gonna tell you what it was. My son sent me this clip. I had seen this movie before. Very disturbed by the movie because the movie deals with their rituals. Okay. Because remember, I told you that this is not man's system. This is Shaitan or Satan's system. All right. And they do a lot of things to manipulate us.
Right.
If you listened carefully, you would have heard them say Allahu Akbar.
Yeah.
What?
What?
They said Allahu Akbar about 3 times. They also said Hallelujah. All right. So
Wow.
you will associate this with Muslims. You will associate this with Christians because they said Hallelujah too. All right. Watch it. Listen again, y'all. You can hear it. Watch it. I'm gonna play it one more time. See if you can hear it. All
Turn
right.
your sound up.
Turn my sound up some more. I don't want to blast y'all out. I'm killing myself over here. Let me see. All right, here we go, y'all. Listen up. All right.
Okay.
Let's try this. Let's try this again. I'm trying to let me see. I'm gonna go to let me click on another video. I'm going to click back. All right, so here we go. Listen. There you go.
I thought I heard something.
Saying something
I heard hallelujah.
So it's 3 times. They say Allahu Akbar 3 times.
Wow.
And they say hallelujah.
I heard hallelujah.
You didn't hear the Allahu Akbar? Oh my goodness, y'all.
Yeah, I heard it once each time. I heard Allahu Akbar once and Hallelujah once.
Okay. Yeah.
So what is it?
Go ahead, say it again.
We were we were kicked off. So what is this you're playing?
All right, so it's a scene from a movie from 2017. The movie was called Mother. All right.
Okay.
And it depicts a scene where they are worshiping this woman's baby, and then they kill it, and then they eat the baby. All right. But now, in the course of this clip, you can hear this group of fanatics shouting Allahu Akbar about 3 times. And they also say hallelujah. All right. So I'm gonna give you one more chance on this one. All right, one more chance. And let me see if you can get to hear it this time. All right. So let me see one more time.
Oh, I heard it.
That's all.
All right. Did anybody get it that time or no?
Yeah, I did. So
Okay.
are they trying to make it seem that Islam condones this? Why? What?
Right. See, that's the game. Last week, I showed the people that were here, I showed them a subliminal message that was for the eyes, but they also do them for the ears. So now if you were to hear this, then you would associate that with Islam. You would also associate it with Christianity because they said
Hallelujah.
Okay. So that's what I was trying to tell people last time, that all the believers are under attack. All right. And that's why we have to come together as believers.
I mean,
Right.
To combat what's going on, because they're on all of us.
that's right.
Okay.
There's
All
a
right.
spiritual war going on.
Yes, most definitely. But the thing is, you should look up this clip because my son sent this to me. Now I watched the movie. I never heard it. I never heard that when I watched the movie.
Wow.
Oh, you actually saw the movie. Okay.
Yeah, I saw this movie. My son sent me the clip because it was about the satanic ritual, right? But when he sent it to me and I watched it, I heard it. I heard it for the first time. I watched the whole movie, but I heard that for the first time. And then when I analyzed it and I looked at it even more, then I heard them say Allahu Akbar 3 times and them say hallelujah. So these people, I'm telling you, this is a satanic system or a shaitanic system. And these people are on us. They are playing chess. We are playing checkers, and some of us are not even on the board.
Can
Okay.
I say something?
Go ahead, good sister.
Thank you. So when I was in college, that was, I guess, it was a while ago now, probably what, 20 years. So I had a roommate who was a hotel restaurant management major. And they used to send those students specifically, like anyone had a chance to go, but they used to specifically send those students to Disney World to stay for the summer, to work in different fields at Disney World to learn different aspects of being in business management and restaurant management. The short of the story is my roommate would come back after every summer with information about subliminal messages being in Disney movies.
Right.
Initially, I didn't believe her until she took a VHS tape. Now I'm telling my age. She took a VHS tape and put it into the player of The Lion King. And I saw this with my own eyes. And in the scene where Simba and Nala are playing in the leaves, when the leaves go up, they say some sexual terms that you have to know are there to really see it. You have to stop and pause it to see it and know what you're looking for.
Right.
But now that I've said this to everybody, if you have your VHS tape or your CD, when they get in those leaves and they play, and they're supposed to be what, 5 or 6 years old, it says orgasm and it says sex.
Wow.
And you can only see this with your brain. You don't really see it with your eyes. I mean, you do, but you know what I mean? Your brain interprets it.
Right.
And she used to come back after every summer with 2 or 3 different movies, and they thought it was funny. When she went to Disney World, they thought it was funny, and they would show the students these subliminal messages that were in movies.
Wow.
And so I'm not surprised that the generation of kids that initially grew up with The Lion King were of the people who had the largest, the fastest growing amount of STDs. They were that age group. They were talking about abstinence and stuff, but in the movies they were getting all these subliminal messages, and I saw that with my own eyes.
Yeah, well, we can definitely do a one on subliminal messages. Just on Disney alone, we could probably do a whole presentation on that with them and their subliminal messages. But we'll do that once we get through the COVID stuff. We'll head to that. All right, we'll head to that. Maybe that'll be our next topic. All right. So here we go. Let's move on. Here's our next slide. All right. So remember when the lady said last time we watched the video when she said that it was their job to control what we think. You remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So now a lot of times these people are given scripts. Okay. So here's some newscasters. This was something that on the show Conan O'Brien, he was making light of, but check it out. Listen.
A lot of people think the big news stories today are the Supreme Court debate on gay marriage and the big snowstorm that's hitting the Midwest. But I checked out local news across the country, and apparently there's an even bigger story that is sweeping the nation right now. Take a look.
In consumer news, economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year. Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year. Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring.
So here you have all of these news channels saying the same exact thing.
Wow.
See, a lot of times we think that our local news is our local news and it's just, for in our area. But same with this, there a lot of them are following a script.
It's all scripted.
Right. It's all scripted. Okay. So there's a game that's being played with us. And I told you before, another name for a television show is a television program. They are programming us to believe and accept things that they want us to accept and believe. Okay. So that's why it was that clip with that lady saying we control what the public thinks, what the public believes. All right, talking about the media. All right. So we have to be, like I said, very careful. Now here's a couple more examples. All right, I'm gonna show you a couple more examples. Now there was actually a CIA program called Mockingbird, where they talked about the influence of the CIA on television and films. Okay, it's called Operation Mockingbird.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS4 News produces.
But
we are concerned by trouble and irresponsible, one-sided news stories spreading our country.
So now they done put them all side by side, so you can hear them saying it all at the same time.
Plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish the same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
Checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the community use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control.
Look at this. Do you see this? This is it's scripted. Okay. They're following a script. A lot of these news programs. Okay. And you can see Fox, you can see NBC. Look at this. All of these. CBS. Okay. All the same thing, following the same script. So you have to remember that they try to control our perception. Okay. Here we go. Let's move on to one more. I want to show you one more example, but this is even in their news talks. All right. So now watch.
Folks, the president has manufactured one heck of a political crisis for himself.
Donald Trump is manufacturing a national security crisis.
You will hear them say is that this is a manufactured crisis. It's not a national security crisis.
And how do we learn things? We learn things through what?
Repetition.
Repetition. Repetition, repetition, repetition. How did you learn your multiplication tables? Repetition. How did you learn your prayers? Repetition. All right. So they understand that now. So that's why they always constantly bombard us with the same jargon over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Think about, go ahead, Brother Nassim.
If you tell somebody the same thing 9 times within 21 days, it's embedded in their memory for life. Like, for instance, what's on a Big Mac?
They had the song, the jingle to help with that. What was it?
Yep.
I can tell you right now.
Beef patties,
special sauce,
lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Right. So now just using that example, think about some of the negative music that's on and how that's played on the radio over and over and over again until it becomes a part of you, you know? So we have to really understand what is being done with us. All right. So another example of they're playing chess, we're playing checkers. Some of us are not even on the what? Board. There we go. That's gonna be our new. That's gonna be one of them. One. All right. So here we go. So last week it was funny because we talked about one of the things that we talked about was global warming. Okay. And I said, you know what? Let's talk about global warming. All right, we're gonna do this on the next one. All right, so I'm gonna keep my promise. Let's talk about some global warming. All right, so this is the from 2006. This is the trailer for the movie An Inconvenient Truth with Al Gore. Okay, anybody remember who Al Gore was?
Yeah, ran for president.
He's running for president. Yeah.
All right, I got some knowledgeable people up in here. All right, here we go. Let's play this clip.
Oh, there you go.
If you look at the 10 hottest years ever measured, they've all occurred in the last 14 years. And the hottest of all was 2005. Scientific consensus is that we are causing global warming. I am Al Gore. I used to be the next president of the United States of America. This is Patagonia 75 years ago and the same glacier today. This is Mount Kilimanjaro 30 years ago and last year. Within the decade, there will be no more snows of Kilimanjaro. This is really not a political issue so much as a moral issue. Temperature increases are taking place all over the world, and that's causing stronger storms.
The biggest crisis is in the this morning, Hurricane Katrina slammed into New Orleans.
Is it possible that we should prepare against other threats besides terrorists?
From Paramount Classics comes a film that has shocked audiences everywhere they've seen it.
The Arctic is experiencing faster melting. If this were to go, sea level worldwide would go up 20 feet. This is what would happen in Florida. Around Shanghai, home to 40 million people. The area around Calcutta, 60 million. Here's Manhattan. The World Trade Center Memorial would be underwater. Think of the impact of 100,000 refugees, and then imagine 100 million. We have to act together to solve this global crisis. Our ability to live is what is at stake.
All right. So after watching that trailer, thoughts, feelings, what do you think about that?
Global warming.
Global warming, okay.
It's real.
Okay. And is it scary?
Yes.
Yes. But man caused it. He's reaping the benefits of his actions.
Okay. All right. So now let's and how do you know all of this information?
My pastor already been talking about it. That's how I know.
Okay. And who is this speaking? I didn't catch the voice.
Pam
Smith. All right, that's my buddy Pam Smith. All right, here we go, y'all. So now I want you to check this out. I want you to see this. All right, this is called Gore Gets Slammed Over False Global Warming Prediction. Okay, now let's play it.
Got that? Complete environmental chaos. That's what former Vice President Al Gore predicted back in his movie in 2006. It didn't happen. There he said back in 2009, 75% chance Arctic ice gone within the next 7 years. 8 years later, Arctic's still here. And Chevron, they're closing the day higher. We got Greenie stocks, Tesla, and First Solar closing the day higher as well. Let's bring in the author of The Skeptical Environmentalist. He is Bjorn Lomborg. Why didn't Al Gore's predictions come true? Good to see you, by the way.
Good to be here. So look, there's so many of these catastrophic predictions in climate conversation, and it's very easy to make them. You get a lot of attention when you make them, and it'll be you and a few others who pull it out 10 years later and say, what happened to that? I don't know if you remember, Gore also told us we could go fossil fuel. The US could be fossil fuel free in its electricity by now.
All right, so I'm going to stop that right there. So all of these predictions that he made in the movie didn't come true. Didn't come true. All right. So it takes some investigating. All right. So let's do a little more investigating. Let's look. All right. Here is our next story. The inconvenient truth about Al Gore's electric bill. Now he's on this movie and he's talking about how we have to limit our use of electricity and all of this type of rhetoric. But let's check this out.
Al Gore's back. He just put out his new anti-global warming documentary. It's called An Inconvenient Sequel. Like in his previous film, An Inconvenient Truth, Gore warns about imminent planetary catastrophe if everybody doesn't start using less energy and throwing off less carbon. We've got some inconvenient truths of our own. A new paper points out that Gore's personal home in Nashville, Tennessee, consumes 21 times as much electricity as a typical American home. Can that be true? We weren't sure, so we asked Drew Johnson to come. He's a senior fellow at the National Center for Public Policy Research. He wrote that paper, and he joins us now. Drew, it's hard to believe that someone who cares as deeply about the fate of the Earth as Al Gore does could personally own a home that burns that much electricity. How can that be?
Well, it makes you wonder if he actually believes what he's saying. I mean, this is a guy who has not only this home that burns more electricity in 1 year than the average American burns in their home in 21 years.
You hear that?
Man.
So here this man is out here speaking all of this global warming and carbon emissions, and they're talking about killing people over carbon emissions, right? That was one of Bill Gates' reasons for wanting to reduce population. That was one of Prince Philip's reasons for getting rid of people. All right. So look at the game. Look at what's going on. All right. But here we go. Let's finish this up a little bit.
But he also has 2 other homes on top of it. And here's a guy who's basically exploited concerns about the environment to make $300 million and win the Nobel Prize. So
he made $300 million from this.
Wow.
And he won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Woo.
From this rhetoric.
Ain't seen him since.
No, you ain't seen him. He's still traveling the world giving these speeches.
Sure. Yeah, 300 million.
300 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is insane. And none of these predictions he made in this movie came true. All right. And that's because what they want to do is they want to create new taxes. They are playing us. And you're really going to see that they're playing us in a second. Hold on 1 second. All right. So, let's listen to a little bit more of this with the electric bill.
Al Gore's back.
So I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
As deeply about the fate of the earth as Al Gore does, could personally own a home that burns that much electricity. How can that be?
Well, it makes you wonder if he actually believes what he's saying. I mean, this is a guy who has not only this home that burns more electricity in 1 year than the average American burns in their home in 21 years, but he also has 2 other homes on top of it. And here's a guy who's basically exploited concerns about the environment to make $300 million and win the Nobel Prize. So it makes you wonder what his real agenda is.
I remember in the 80s, we were all upset when a series of televangelists got into sex scandals. They were in the pulpit telling you not to do X, Y, or Z, and then they got caught doing it. And they were appropriately humiliated, and they were in tears, and they had to leave the public stage for a while. Why do the same rules not apply to this hypocrite?
I wonder the same thing, because just like a Jimmy Swaggart who had to distance himself from Christians, environmentalists should be the most furious. We on the right, the libertarians, the conservatives, we can sit and make fun of this guy, but the people who he represents, and basically he is a religious prophet for the religion of environmentalism, and he doesn't walk the walk. I mean, he expects people to walk to work, ride their bike to work, hang their clothes out on a line rather than using a dryer. And this is a guy who won't take the steps in his own life to reduce his own energy consumption. And some months his energy consumption is 34 times the average American. So we're talking about it's unbelievable. Yeah.
A liberal friend of mine had dinner with him a couple of years ago, and he literally talked about global warming during the meal. And then he got into an SUV and went out to Dulles Airport and flew private back home. And my friend was like a sincere environmentalist, was like, really? How can you do that? But I guess he's a false prophet. Drew, thank you so much for coming on tonight and verifying that that's true. We never stop being surprised on the show. Thanks.
Now, who does Allah warn us about in the Quran and also in the Bible? Who does God warn us about? What type of people? Let me see. That's just let me see.
This is from Fox. So isn't Fox like slanted, and the other guy's from like a right wing think tank? No.
Okay. Let me tell you this. It's a game on both sides. But what I do is I look at everybody. I look at what everybody says, because there's some truth. You got to weed out the falsehood, but you got to take some of the truth. So now, if you're saying this is the right, this is the left, right? They're going to try to get information on each other, right? To embarrass one another, right? Isn't that what they do?
Yeah.
All right. So the thing is, you have to remember that they're really you're given the illusion of choice.
Right.
You think,
Yeah, we agree with that.
this is two sides of the same coin.
Right.
They are both fighting for the same agenda. And they're going to get their agenda through either party.
Right. Democrat, Republican, same thing.
There you go. It's a game. It's a sham. Just like George Carlin, a famous comedian, said, he said it's like you can get 36 different flavors of ice cream, but you can only get 2 political parties. Right? So the thing is, it's a game. It's a game. You know, all of these people are working together. All right. But here we go. Because we're going to go because I love that statement that you made. I loved it. All right. But here we go. Let's move on. Let me see. Now this is talking about him doing very well with climate change. All right.
Al Gore, Luke Grant, up in Brisbane, Vegas.
Yeah.
On a big climate tour. It's no longer global warming. It's extreme weather.
Yeah.
It's now a catastrophic crisis that we saw. The Guardian sent around its new style guide, lest we all not, dial down the importance of climate change.
Climate crisis.
$300,000 are spent getting this joker here.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
Well, I think this is beautiful. I think
So he's going around the world making these speeches. They said $300,000 to get him there in the country that they're in to speak on global warming. All right. No predictions came true. He's been shown to be a hypocrite because he doesn't follow what he preaches. Okay. And that is what God warns us about, those type people in both the Bible and the Quran. The hypocrite. Okay. But now watch. Now, this is the big one. And I want you to listen to this. All right. Very important. This was from the 1970s. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the origins of the environmental movement as we see it began back in 1968 when the Club of Rome.
Well, she said 1968. All right, with the Club of Rome. All right.
Was formed. The Club of Rome has been described as a crisis think tank, which specializes in crisis creation. The main purpose of this think tank was to formulate a crisis that would unite the world and condition us to the idea of global solutions to local problems.
It's all part of the plan.
In a document called The First Global Revolution.
Now, I want you to watch this. This is from Amazon. All right, this is the book on sale from Amazon. It was called The First Global Revolution, a report by the Council of the Club of Rome. Okay, look at the price of it. Right here, they have a hardcover for $237. 5 used for $237. A paperback for $82. 9 used for $82. 1 new from $163. They have a loose leaf. People were printing them out, selling it for $27. Okay. Then we have here, look at this, 1 used for $989.
OMG.
Because this is some information that they don't want the regular public to have.
Yep.
Okay. But now listen to what she said. Now remember, they were a crisis think tank. Okay. And they were thinking of ways to unite everybody, to have people come together. All right. So their thing was to create an enemy that would bring people together. All right. But now watch, listen to this, because this is very interesting.
Authored by Alexander King and Bertrand Schneider. On pages 104 and 105, it stated, in searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, and the like would fit the bill. All these dangers, of course, will be caused by human intervention that will require a global response. That's the origin of global warming, ladies and gentlemen.
Deep. Deep, right? Any reactions?
What year was that?
Well, the lady making the speech, I don't know what year she made the speech, but the Council of the Club of Rome was formed, I think, in 68. 68, in 68, they wrote this book, and they were talking about using the climate crisis as a means of bringing people together. See, because remember, they want to create this one world order, this one world government. Okay, so they're say again. Say it again. Somebody said something, but I didn't hear them. I don't know.
No, I just agreed with you.
Yeah. So you have to, like I said, you have to see the game. They use television programming. They use these movies to condition us and condition our minds to have certain beliefs, the beliefs that they want us to have. Okay. So we have to be very careful in what we consume without questioning. Okay. But here we go. Let's move on, because I did do a little thing here with the Club of Rome. It says, go ahead, good brother. Go ahead.
You were showing how all of the news stations was saying the same thing.
Right.
So 90% of the media is controlled by 5 companies, right?
Right.
Comcast, Rupert Murdoch, and maybe 3 others. 30 years ago, there used to be 50.
Right.
50, but now it's down to 5.
Right.
So that's why they all look alike. There's only 5 of them controlling everything, right?
Right.
I'm sure they work together too.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But see, the thing is that we have to be on top of things. See, Islam has really opened. If you believe in God, if you believe in the Creator, we should be thinking people. We shouldn't just accept everything that somebody tells us. The Bible tells us, envy not the oppressor and follow none of his ways. Okay. And we as African-American people, especially, we've been oppressed, and all we do is follow everything that this man does. Okay. He's given us everything. So we have to really think about things, but what a lot of people don't recognize is that white people are also oppressed, but they are oppressed. Many of them are oppressed mentally and spiritually.
Right.
Okay. But let's look at something that I highlighted in this description of the Club of Rome. All right. So the book that they were talking about, I actually was able to find a copy of it online.
Really?
For free. For free.
For free?
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
It was a free download. Okay. So the thing is that as the Bible says, seeking you will find, right?
Yes, yes.
So this is what we have to do. We have to seek, right? And then God will put things in our path for us to find. All right. But it says, I'm gonna come down here. I'm not gonna read all of that. But it says, let's see, it was something I wanted. All right, well, let me go right here. It says, in 1991, the club published the first global revolution. It analyzes the problems of humanity, calling these collectively, or in essence, the problematique. It notes that historically, social or political unity has commonly been motivated by enemies in common. All right. The need for enemies seems to be a common historical factor. All right, so then they go through and they talk about certain things, but then it comes down here and says, in searching for a common enemy against whom we can unite, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, and the like would fit the bill. In their totality, and in their interactions, these phenomena do constitute a common threat which must be confronted by everyone together.
And I never believed.
Okay, so this was a plan. This had been a plan.
Yeah.
Remember last week where I showed you when they talked about COVID and how it was a plan because you could see it through the television programming. Okay, and we looked at some of the exercises that they had done in preparation for it. Okay, all right, so let's move on. All right, so now the next one, I think I'm going to skip the next one because it has some profanity in it. I think that was enough to help you understand that we've been bamboozled. All right, so I'm going to move on and I'm going to go to this next one. This is now. I wanted to continue our path of looking at the historically the COVID-19 thing and what was being done through the media and stuff like that. We'll get back to that, but I've decided now to start looking at the vaccine. Okay, so let's check out some of the things that's going on with vaccine. This one says, would you get the COVID-19 vaccine for a $1,500 check?
No, they can give me $10,000. No.
All right. So now let's watch what happens when I play this video. What does it say?
Paid to immunize.
Look what's on my video screen. Can you see my screen?
No.
All right. I just tried.
See it, but we
It's
can't
unavailable.
read
Thank you. Yes, it says the video unavailable. It says playback on other websites has been disabled by the video owner.
Yeah.
All right. So they were talking about possibly connecting the COVID shot with the stimulus. All right.
What?
Yeah. Okay. So if this was just an idea from some people, if you got the shot, then you would get the stimulus money.
Right.
So that's all the blacks in the front of the line, right?
Keep that change. I don't want it. 1,500, please.
All right. So now, I left this here purposefully. I was going to take it out, but I wanted you to see what happens. Okay. Now watch it. Here's the next one. All right. Because I like to have at least 2 or 3 videos, of support of the information. All right. But here we go. It says 1,500 stimulus check proposed to get Americans to take the COVID-19 vaccine.
That's raunchy.
Good morning, everyone. So speaking of the vaccine, that's a big talker online this morning, but also for a different angle that's surfacing. And now a former presidential candidate is suggesting that people actually get paid if they get the vaccine. So this is blowing up on our Facebook page. We've got a lot of comments that we'll get to in just a minute, sharing what your opinion is about this. A Gallup poll is finding that a whopping 42% of people wouldn't feel comfortable getting the vaccine. There are 3 major concerns right now around it. People are worried that the vaccine was just created too fast. Drug makers didn't have time. Now, remember on that, they said it takes about 10 years to develop a vaccine. All right.
Right.
Look how fast it came out.
Ordinarily.
Ordinarily, right.
To get all the kinks out. They're also concerned if it's even safe and effective. And there's a handful of people who say, just forget it. We don't trust vaccines in general. So what is this proposal all about? Well, it is pretty straightforward. They're saying you want $1,500? Well, get the vaccine. You don't get paid. It's kind of like a stimulus check and a vaccine incentive rolled into one. So the reaction on our Facebook page is pretty mixed on this idea. David says whatever it takes to get people to get the vaccine, and he thinks it would be good for the economy as well. Vanessa says she doesn't want to be a guinea pig for this vaccine, I guess no matter what the incentive would be. So let us know what your opinion is on the vaccine in general and this idea of forking out about $1,500 if you were to get the vaccine. Use our hashtag WakeUpCLT this morning to let us know what you think. Carolyn.
So now they do these polls just to see what they need to do or can.
Right. Yeah, to put it out there.
Right.
Yep,
All right. True. So now let's move on, because now I'm going to show you how the strategy goes. All right. So now we're saying they're kind of doing any means necessary. All right. But now watch.
Well, if you
Here's the next point.
It's not gonna make you rich. So.
Well, think about it. If you're aiming at poor people, right? And they're going to jump and say, "Oh, shoot, $1,500."
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a friend of mine. He has a friend who he does those trial studies. So he lets them experiment on his body so that he can get paid. You know. So
wow.
Yeah. So I mean,
I think that's individual because I ain't never been wealthy.
Bring me glass.
And I feel like if I'm broke, 1,500 is not gonna put me over the top to be no millionaire. So what I'm gonna risk my life for?
Absolutely. But that's because you have understanding.
Right.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't have simple understanding. Okay.
And to the guy who just want a pack of cigarettes or that next hit or putting eggs and bacon on the table, that makes sense.
Right. Absolutely right, sister.
Right.
Absolutely right. All right.
And who's to say that, okay, I know former President Obama and Clinton and Bush got the vaccine, but who's to say they're going to give us the same thing they gave them?
Yeah, come on.
Right, exactly.
I know. How about that?
I don't trust that.
Hey, listen.
You can put your life on it that it's not the same.
I don't even want the one Obama got. I want the one they gave Trump.
Yes, there you go. I was going to bring that up. How is it he has COVID, go in the hospital, and he's out in 2 days?
In no time.
He probably.
Why can't they give that to everybody, whatever that is?
Yeah.
He did struggle. And if you watched him when he got out, when he got up the top of them steps to wave, that man was having a hard time breathing. I'm surprised. Did you see him?
I didn't pay attention to that, but I don't want whatever they gave him either.
Yeah.
But you got.
I don't trust it.
You got to watch these jokers because a lot of them are trained actors.
What about the lady that took the shot and the needle still had the cap on it the other day?
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Oh, wow. Right. I didn't see that.
So don't worry, sister. You gonna see it tonight. Because it's right here in this presentation. All right. So here we go. All right. So this is what they were saying about Clinton, Bush, and Obama.
Former U.S. Presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton have all said they were willing to be vaccinated against COVID-19 on television in order to ease any public skepticism over the safety of the new vaccine. In an interview with SiriusXM Radio that aired Wednesday, Obama said he would do his vaccination on television.
Oh,
people know that I trust the science. Bush, Obama's predecessor and a Republican, is willing to get a vaccine on camera once the U.S. Food and Drug Administration grants emergency approval, according to Freddie Ford, Bush's chief of staff. Democratic President Bill Clinton, who left office in 2001, said he would take the vaccine as soon as it was available to him, and he will do it in a public setting. An FDA panel of outside advisors is due to meet on December 10th to discuss whether to recommend emergency use authorization of a vaccine developed by Pfizer. It's XM Radio that aired.
All right, so this is one of the games that they play. They use
big game.
Yeah, they use celebrities or people that's well known to push their agenda. All right, because they know a lot of people. Yeah, follow. Then you got it perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. Follow the leader, okay, or follow the entertainer. All right, but here we go. Now watch. So now, here we go. First one is a sister.
Uh-huh.
Of course.
And why?
Because Black people ain't taking that vaccine.
There you go. All right. So it's aimed, it's aimed at us right away. It's aimed at us right away because the first person they put in front of us was a Black girl. Okay. But now why? Look. So you see her.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you feeling today? I am.
You're not even supposed to squeeze your arm.
Now, think about it. A nurse, healthcare worker. Healthcare workers are like our superheroes now, right? So now, how much influence is this going to have on other Blacks in the community? You see?
I think so.
So I still hear somebody say, "Oh, I don't think so." Say it again.
When you work in a medical profession, my mom's a retired registered nurse. When you're a medical professional, if you want to work in your job, you don't have a choice. You got to take every vaccine they have or you can't work. So she's sitting there like she volunteered for that. We don't really know how she really felt, but I know if she wanted to keep her job, her butt better sit in that chair and get that needle.
Yep. Okay. But
that's a shame.
I'm glad you said that because we're gonna touch on this in a second. All right. But here we go. So now what I did was, this is another video. This was somebody, they asked the question. Now watch this meme that they put up.
Hey, he said, hell no.
I love it. Oh, that's the H to the no guy.
So now look. I
like it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, him.
I had this ready for y'all because I thought it would give y'all a good chuckle, right?
Yeah, play it.
This guy, he had a song.
Play it.
Okay. Sorry, can't play it. They canceled it.
Oh, they canceled it.
Get out.
Of course they got.
Unable to play.
Of course they canceled.
Oh, yo.
All right. So I left these.
Anybody talking about it, they canceling
There
it.
you go, because they want to control your perception.
Yep, they
All
are.
right? And anybody,
we live in a police state. You can't.
Right.
It's an illusion of freedom and democracy. It's an illusion.
There you go. So the thing is that if you don't go with their official story, then they're trying to shut your mouth closed. Okay. But this is the games they play. It was funny too. I like the little clip. It was
yeah, I like that clip.
So now, so this was the video. I don't know if anybody was here, if everybody was here last week, but this is the video that I was talking about where the woman says that the media controls what people think. Did everybody see that?
Did we see that?
No.
No,
I don't
last
remember.
week or the week before?
I don't remember.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Okay, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to play it because I want you to hear. I just want you to hear it from her mouth. All right, what she says.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I hear. What you just said is what I hear from all the Trump supporters that I talk to who were Trump voters and are still Trump supporters. They go, yeah, you guys are going crazy. He's doing, what are you so surprised about? He's doing exactly what he said he's going to do.
Well, and I think that the dangerous, edges here are that he's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts. And it could be that while unemployment and the economy worsens, he could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think. And that is our job.
Yeah, if you look at the issue.
Oh my goodness.
So you heard it. That's
I heard that.
That's our job to control what people think. Okay. So they sat there and admitted it. So she probably got smacked 2 times. Which
Yeah, she didn't mean to say that.
She didn't mean to say that. No, she let it slip. All right.
She's wilding out. Will she have a job the next morning?
But see, that's the thing. See, God makes certain things happen, or allow certain things happen to give us some truth. Okay. We let them have that slip of the tongue sometime.
Yeah.
Okay. But now watch. Now here's our next one. Because we're still talking about the vaccine, but here we go. This is in Canada. This is their Minister of Health. She pretends to get a flu shot. 2019. Look at this. Watch this.
Pretends.
How you do that?
Now she's in charge of the health of 14 million people, and she was pushing the flu vaccine. Okay. All right, but now watch. Here she is on television in October 2019, encouraging Ontarians to get the free flu shot.
Christine Elliott was one of the first people to get the flu shot this morning at Women's College Hospital. Elliott is urging the public to get the flu
Oh, please. I saw that.
Did you see that? Did you see that? Let me make it bigger. Let me make it bigger. Let me make it bigger. Let me make it bigger.
Oh my goodness.
That's terrible. Just terrible.
All right, so here we go. Let's see. Let's watch it.
Christine Elliott was one of the first people to get the flu. Christine Elliott
keeps what's going on. All right, there we go. That's better.
Christine Elliott was one of the first people to get the flu shot this morning at Women's College Hospital. Elliott is urging the public to get the free shot this year, off this year's flu. Christine Elliott was one of the first people to get the flu shot this morning at Women's College Hospital. Elliott is urging the public to get the free shot this year.
Didn't notice anything strange.
It's not working.
I saw it the first time. That's crazy. So she pretended.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And the nurse didn't do a good job at covering it up.
Yeah, you see the nurse try to cover it up.
Yeah,
He tried.
And it looks like it wasn't even a needle on it. It's like
a needle on it.
Pushed the syringe up against her skin and then took it away. Tried to cover it with her hand, you know.
That's why she laughing.
Yeah, and when you get a needle, your skin don't compress like that. The needle go through your skin. So like, yeah, that was crazy.
All right, so here we go, y'all. But remember, we're talking about television program. We're talking about people that
I don't believe
just said
nothing.
that
I don't believe Democrats, Republicans, Independents. I don't believe nobody.
There you go, and that's the way you should be, sister. You got to show me some proof in order for me to believe it. All right, but here we go.
We had a beacon of light with Bernie Sanders, and then when he conceded and gave in Biden, man, he reopened my eyes all over again.
Okay, all right. So now here we go, y'all, with another one. All right, this is in December 17th, 2020. It says a doctor at UMC gets the COVID vaccine with an empty needle. Watch this. Can't make this stuff up. All right. Now
look how she have it in her hand.
no, watch this. This one is funny.
Nothing in it.
The plunger's not even moving.
They killing me, man.
So
It
disrespectful.
was already down, and he did the motion like he was putting it down and pulling it back up.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
That is crazy.
All right, here we go. Here's part 2 to that one, because now the people were complaining, and now the news picked up the story. All right, here we go.
Some of our viewers have raised It's about video we showed from Tuesday's UMC event, specifically the second
Let me see something.
vaccine that was administered, and we do have some close-up video you'll only see on 9 this morning. Apologies to those who are squeamish when it comes to needles. You can
Wait, let me see something, y'all. Let me. So, all right. I think okay. All right, here we go. Oh, let me move it over like this. There we go. That's better.
Some of our viewers have raised questions about video we showed from Tuesday's UMC event, specifically the second vaccine that was administered, and we do have some close-up video you'll only see on 9 this morning. Apologies to those who are squeamish when it comes to needles. You can see the UMC healthcare worker with his sleeve rolled up, but when it comes time for the injection, look at the top of the syringe. It appears the person administering the shot does not really push down on the plunger. Our viewers wondering whether the worker received the vaccine at all.
Oh my goodness.
Let's take a look at the other injection later to a woman. You can see
now look at the difference.
Yeah. So there you go.
Away. And when we show them to you side by side, you might notice the difference. KTSM reached out to them for comment. The spokesperson maintains all 5 healthcare workers were given full doses of the vaccine, but the
never pushed it.
No.
I mean, they could at least put some saline or something in there.
Come on, man.
Now,
instead of going through all that, they could just get some water and put it in. They could trick us a little better than that.
Exactly.
All right, so here's our next one. I got one more for y'all. One more. Here we go. This one is the magic needle. I think this is the one I want. Magic needle. All right.
Whoa!
Oh my goodness!
It stayed in them. What happened to the needle? What happened to the needle?
That's the magic needle, sister.
David Copperfield, right there.
Oh my goodness!
David Copperfield.
That's the one I want. The one. No needle at all.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Maybe.
Wow.
Maybe I go with one from the lady from Canada.
Do they think people this dumb, or are people really this dumb?
Well, that's because a lot of people will see it and not really look at it. These are people. These are people that have really observed what's going on, and then they'll share it. And that's what I like about that. That's one thing that's good about the internet, because people can share information.
Yes.
But now here we go.
I think they just go with the herd mentality. Like what it is, if one person say it is, a lot of people will just follow that. People just follow certain news channels, like you said. They'll say, "Oh, this happened," and even though they see it, they immediately convince themselves subconsciously. They convince themselves that it was what they were told, because it's that herd mentality, just follow the herd. But not for nothing, I truly do feel like most African Americans don't just follow the herd. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like because we've been on the bottom end of the totem pole for a long time, and Master didn't hide a lot of stuff for us, we kind of don't trust the system because we already know what it is.
Yeah.
Right. Well, see, it's according to the individual. Because a lot of people, we get caught up in trends. Kanye West was selling a plain white T-shirt for $100.
Yeah.
And people were buying it.
What? Yep. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wow.
So you gotta.
It had to be 100%, 1,000% cotton. It had to be.
There was cotton balls falling all off of that one. But no, sister, you're absolutely right. What they've done is they've studied human behavior for long.
While we're sleeping. Yep.
Okay. So they've been studying human behavior and how they can manipulate us for a long time. And that's why you have the big thing of advertising. That's basically a science.
What to buy, yeah.
Yeah, how to get people to buy things, okay? How do people get people to accept ideas? And we are, as African Americans, are consumers, okay? And not only do we consume material things, we consume ideas sometimes, you know? So it's very important that, you know, like I said, that we become thinkers. And that's why I like to do a lot of little brain teasers just to get the mind flowing, you know, just to, you know, get those mental juices going. All right. But here we go. I want to show you two more things with this. All right. So no, I'll show you one of them. I have two, but I'll just show you one. All right. So this is called the retractable syringe.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's what they use in the movies.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
$99.
I want my vaccine in that syringe.
Wow.
So that's what they use in the movies. Okay, so when you see those movies, they use those are what they call movie props. Okay. So this next one, because now, well, I'll let you watch this and then you tell me what you think. All right. So this is a quick video.
Scientists around the world have been racing to develop a vaccine for COVID-19. But what happens if people refuse to take it? Anti-vaccine propaganda has long targeted immunization against childhood diseases like measles. But in the face of coronavirus, the campaign has mutated into something that could prove even more deadly.
And there is no way, as long as I'm living, that my children are going to be injected with that.
There are anti-vaccine groups that are weaving a web right now, sowing seeds of doubt, developing their plans.
Scientists say any potential vaccine is still probably a year away, but the misinformation drive is already.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Scientists. Scientists say any potential vaccine is still probably a year away, but the misinformation drive is already underway. Recently, there were false reports that a volunteer in a vaccine trial died, prompting her to tweet, "She's still very much alive." Anti-vaxxers are also targeting Microsoft founder Bill Gates for his vaccine advocacy and falsely claiming microchips are being inserted into vaccines.
I have a problem receiving any vaccine from any entity, especially anybody like Bill Gates.
Singer MIA tweeting, "If I had to choose the vaccine or chip, I'm going to choose death." Since then, MIA has clarified her stance, tweeting in part, "I'm not against vaccines. I'm against companies who care more for profit than humans." And #1 ranked tennis player Novak Djokovic.
Now look at what she read.
Against vaccines.
She didn't read the part where it says, "I care for a better track record that proves this. I care that African countries are not always the testing ground." So why didn't they read that?
They hurried up and cut that.
Right.
They don't want to read it.
Right. All right. But now, because we don't have to watch this.
Her father was a Tamil tiger. She know all about that kind of stuff. He was an activist where she from, and they did all kind of stuff to her people.
Right. Okay. But now, what do you think is the purpose of this story?
Let's see.
Obviously, to make it look like people who don't believe in getting the vaccine is crazy.
Right. It's to vilify those people, make them look crazy, and to make them villains. Okay. So if you don't agree with what they want you to do, then you become this villain, or you become this crazy person, or you become this, the word they use, conspiracy theorist. Okay. No, these are conspiracy facts. You know.
Yeah, I think it might come to a thing where we have to think about moving if you have children like to another country, because if they make it mandatory, they can use those grounds to come get your kids.
Oh, well, this is going to be
in the plan.
This is going to be worldwide.
Yeah.
This is going to be worldwide. Okay. But now watch. I want to show you something. Now, did y'all see the old woman? That was the first woman in England to get it.
No.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, she was old, and there was another old guy behind her.
Right. So all right. So I'm gonna let you see her.
Oh. Oh my.
Oh my God.
Oh, you're not right, man. That's not right.
Hey, Granny know better than that. Granny, get down, Granny.
Oh, that's funny, man. You got me with that one. You got me. That's funny.
That was good. That was good.
Well, I had saw that clip somewhere else, and I was.
You gotta send me that. You gotta send me that.
I've been trying to find that one for a while. Yeah, that one had me cracking up. But it was actually that clip that they put on there was from the movie Legion. And Legion, that movie is something else. Okay, we had to have a conversation about that movie, but something else. All right. So here we go. Y'all got me laughing over here. I gotta get myself together.
You a whole mess for that video. That was too funny.
Yeah, that was
funny. Now this is all right. So this is a doctor talking about the vaccine. All right, this is what he says.
June of this year, a book titled Corona, False Alarm exploded in Germany, became an instant bestseller. It asked a simple question: is COVID panic worse than the disease? The controversial co-author of this book, Corona, False Alarm, Facts and Figures, joins us now, award-winning researcher, retired microbiologist, Dr. Sukrit Bakadi. Doctor, thank you for getting up early for all of us, for all these policies, lockdowns, social distancing, which in your view has been injurious to the public and not suited to the science?
The looming vaccination.
So the vaccination, on the issue of the vaccination, we'll get to that in a moment, but on the social distancing and the masks, just focusing on that for a moment, which of those two in your research and your work has been the most displaced?
Both.
Both have, not at all backed up by the science.
Zero science.
Wow.
So why are they pushing this if zero science? I mean, they'll show videos of people coughing through masks and without masks, and it's terrifying.
Well,
people
this
here
is something. This is something that we, and when I say we, it's hundreds and thousands of people are standing up to say, please, all of you, sit down and think about this, read up on this, and then make up your own mind. Don't believe things that people are telling you. Think for yourself and come to your own conclusions. That is why we wrote this book, because all the arguments telling you why what you are doing is absolutely nonsense is in that book. And there's no question that is left open to you. All you have to do is go and read and think.
And Doctor, the issue of the vaccine, tonight, Anthony Fauci on this network actually said that 75% of Americans are going to have to get vaccinated to reach what they call herd immunity. Do you buy that?
What utter nonsense. I know that Fauci is a renowned
immunologist,
medical scientist and immunologist, but what he says has to be wrong. And this is also what we have taken great lengths to explain in the book. And why, someone who says this has not the slightest inkling of the basics of immunology. And this is very, very surprising for someone of Dr. Fauci's standing. And I would dare to defy him anywhere in the world at any time. But I cannot do this in 2 minutes.
Well, so you believe that the COVID vaccine is not necessary?
I think it's downright dangerous. And I warn you, if you go along these lines, you are going to go to your doom. And it's so unnecessary.
All right, so that's an opposing view on the vaccines. But now let's look at history. All right, look at history, and we're going to look back at the swine flu. When they had the swine flu scare of the 70s, okay, 1976 swine flu scare. Now you have to watch this in its totality, but I'm going to show you a clip just for tonight because I want you to see something. All right, but here we go. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to move to the 8-minute mark. All right, 8:21.
For the swine flu program at the CDC. His job was to
see. The thing is, a lot of people didn't know that there was a swine flu scare in the 70s. Okay, and what happened was they were giving these shots out, and some people were getting Guillain-Barré syndrome. All right, and this one woman, they talk about her in this special, but they show how she got Guillain-Barré syndrome. And it was like a paralysis. Okay. They also
look shady.
Well, no, this guy, he's one of the good guys. This guy right here.
Oh, okay.
But what
got the mind.
Yeah, he looks shady. I don't know.
No, he's the one that was. He's the one speaking against the CDC in this. Okay. But what he was saying was that they had two versions of the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
They had one that was tested, and they had one that wasn't tested. They gave the people the one that wasn't tested.
Yeah.
But now watch.
Yeah, they talked about that on Democracy Now, where people got face paralysis after getting tested for COVID vaccine. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on Democracy Now.
They called it Bell's palsy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know somebody had that.
Yeah. Okay, but here we go.
Wow.
Watch. Check this out.
to find out what possible complications could arise from taking the shot and to report his findings to those in charge. Did you know ahead of time, Dr. Hatwick, that there had been case reports of neurological disorders, neurological illness, apparently associated with the injection of influenza vaccine? Absolutely. You did? Yes. How'd you know that? By review of the literature. So you told your superiors, the men in charge of the swine flu immunization program, about the possibility of neurological disorders? Absolutely. What would you say if I told you that your superiors say that you never told them about the possibility of neurological complications? That's nonsense. I can't believe that they would say that they did not know that there were neurological illnesses associated with influenza vaccination. That simply is not true. We did know that. I've said that Dr. Hatwick has never told
Now, this is the guy from the CDC. This is his response.
me of his feelings on this subject, and he's lying. I guess you would have to make that assumption. And why does this report from your own agency, dated July 1976, list?
They could write anything.
Now wait a minute. Y'all talk about the other guy looks shady. This guy is terrible.
They gonna kill him. Is he still alive? They gonna kill him.
I don't know, but he's being very careful with his words. Very careful.
consensus of the scientific community was that the evidence relating neurologic disorders to influenza immunization, that they did not feel that this association was a real one.
You didn't feel it was necessary to tell American people that information?
I think that over the years, we have tried to inform the American people as fully as possible.
As part of informing Americans about the swine flu threat, Dr. Sensor's CDC also helped create the advertising to get the public to take the shot. Let me read to you from one of your own agency's memos planning the campaign to urge Americans to take the shot. The swine flu vaccine has been taken by many important persons, he wrote. Example, President Ford, Henry Kissinger, Elton John, Muhammad Ali, Mary Tyler Moore, Rudolph Nureyev, Walter Cronkite, Ralph Nader, Edward Kennedy, etc., etc.
Wow. So he named all these celebrities that took it. Remember, we talked about that being the game to get people saying that they took it. Okay, but here we go.
Right.
True. I'm not familiar with that particular piece of paper, but I do know that at least of that group, President Ford did take the vaccination.
Did you talk to these people beforehand to find out if they planned to take the shot?
I did not know.
So here he is advertising for it and saying people took it, and he doesn't even know if they took it.
Did anybody did you get permission to use their names in your campaign?
I do not know.
Did you take a swine flu shot?
Now here's Mary Tyler Moore. Let's hear what she said. He said, did you take the swine flu shot?
No, I did not. You use your name saying
Did you give them permission to use your name? Watch this.
You had or were going to.
Absolutely not.
Wow, that's 2 no's.
Did you ask your own doctor about taking the swine flu shot?
Yes, and at the time he thought it might be a good idea. But I resisted it because I was leery of having the symptoms that sometimes go with that kind of inoculation.
So you didn't?
No, I didn't.
Have you spoken to your doctor since?
Yes.
And?
He's delighted that I didn't take that shot.
You're in charge. Somebody's in charge. This is your advertising strategy that I have a copy of here. You'll acknowledge that it was your baby, so to speak.
It could have been from the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. It could be from CDC. I don't know. I'll be happy to take responsibility for it.
It's been 3 years now since you fell ill with GBS, right?
Right.
Has the federal government, in your estimation, played fair with you about your claim?
No, I don't.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop that there. But as you can see, this is why we have people that don't want to take these shots. Look at the history. Look at what's happened. Look at how that man, head of the CDC, you know, he's sitting up there lying, you know, being untruthful. You know, why am I trusting these people? Okay.
Like this go around too. They had proof. They finally came out and said that they went along with Trump and said what he needed them to say, even though they knew all along that this was as bad as it was.
Right.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, why should we trust them? I don't trust them.
Go ahead, sister. I hear you. But now here we go. This was in October. This is a Brazilian that died during the trial, the vaccine trial.
A volunteer in the trial of the COVID-19 vaccine being developed by AstraZeneca and Oxford University has died in Brazil. Brazil's health authority said on Wednesday that although the volunteer had died, the trial would continue.
Although the volunteer died, the trial would continue.
So far, 8,000 people have been.
They say, oops.
All right. So here's another one. All right, because I'm gonna try to speed this along a little bit, but this was the same thing talking about the guy in Brazil. This was AstraZeneca. All right, watch.
A volunteer in one of the most advanced coronavirus vaccine trials in the world has died. And despite the news, AstraZeneca's testing continues. The news shocking many Atlantans. a major setback in the race to develop a coronavirus vaccine.
Of course, you're not going to get a vaccine if you don't know what the hell you're working with.
A volunteer in AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine trial has died in Brazil. The news is further compromising the public's confidence in the ability to develop a safe and effective vaccine.
I don't feel safe taking another vaccine right now.
Vaccine.
All right. So this is another shot, just another clip, just showing you that this man from Brazil had died from taking the getting the vaccine. But now, what we're going to see next, this is he's a leading vaccine person. All right, and I mean he's known worldwide. His name is Stanley Plotkin. Okay, and he's Stanley Plotkin, MD, widely recognized as a leading authority in vaccinology. Now he was under oath. All right, and this is him giving testimony. I want you to hear this. This is very important. Watch.
Do any of the vaccines on the childhood schedule contain monkey kidney cells?
No, the polio vaccine does.
Are you aware of any simian monkey viruses, meaning viruses that come from primates, that contaminated polio vaccines and infected individuals receiving the polio vaccine?
Yes, SV40.
And what does SV40 stand for?
Simian virus 40.
And what was it, the 40th simian virus found? Is that
Yes.
why it's called? Are you aware of any virus from any animal other than simian or bovine that is in any vaccine?
Yes, there's a pig virus present in one of the rotavirus vaccines.
Can you go to Kinrex on the first page?
Yeah.
Tap IPV. Do you see in the third line down, it says cat serum? Do any vaccines on the childhood schedule contain embryonic pig cell?
They said, now this one they said, did it contain any embryonic guinea pig
cultures?
Vaccine is massive guinea pig cells.
Do any vaccines contain gelatin from pigs?
Yes.
Do any vaccines on the childhood schedule contain human albumin?
Does any of it contain human albumin? All right, look what he says.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
He said, oh, yes. Okay.
What is human albumin?
Human albumin is part of human serum. It's part of the blood that is liquid.
Is on the childhood schedule contain MRC5 human diploid cells?
Yes. Varicella, hepatitis A.
What are MRC5 cells?
They are human fibroblast cell strain. They were created by taking fetal tissue and from a particular fetus that was aborted by maternal choice, and the cells, the so-called fibroblast cells, were cultivated.
If you could turn to page 3 for MR and MRV. Do you see that within the ingredient list that lists WI38 human diploid lung fibroblasts?
Yes, I do see that.
So do you hear this?
Wow,
The stuff that's in these vaccines. Insane. Okay.
My God.
Isn't it true that human DNA in vaccines is typically purposely fragmented?
Yes.
This study involved 74 fetuses.
Yeah, 76.
76.
Mhm.
And these fetuses were all 3 months or older when aborted, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What organs did you harvest from these fetuses?
A whole range of tissues were harvested by co-workers.
Okay. And were these pieces were then cut up into little pieces, right?
Yes.
And they were cultured?
Yes.
Okay. Some of the pieces of the fetuses were pituitary gland that were chopped up into pieces. Okay. Included the lung.
Yes.
Okay, included skin,
Yes.
kidney,
Yes.
spleen, heart,
Yes.
and
Oh, what they put him through a grinder? Dead or alive?
Yes.
Are you an atheist?
Yes.
Oh, no wonder.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh,
Watch y'all. Nope, not even over yet. Look, are you an atheist? Yes. So he doesn't even care what he's doing.
oh my
Remember,
goodness.
remember, we said before, any person absent a belief in God is capable of anything.
Absolutely.
Capable of anything.
When you were a child, what vaccines did you receive?
Diphtheria. In childhood, I think it was probably only diphtheria.
That doozy of a deposition you just saw was of the grandfather of vaccines himself, admitting a plethora of dormant VIRUSs from a variety of animals and DNA, as well as cultured tissue from affected human beings, placed all cozy like right inside of the SHOTS that many of us have already received.
Right. Right? So we've been getting these shots, not even knowing what's in them. And this man who is this leading expert on vaccines is telling you and admitting to you that human tissue was being used in some of the vaccines. All right. But now here we go.
You know,
go ahead.
You know, I wondered, I was just sitting there thinking, I said, everything has a label, tell you what's inside. How come they don't have labels?
Right. Just like they don't have prices up.
Yeah.
They give you them surgeries and stuff, right? But now, here we go. Now, this is another interesting one. It said researchers devastated
HIV
over
test.
unexpected HIV response in COVID-19 vaccine. So in Australia, they had created a vaccine and then found out that the vaccine was making people test false positive for HIV.
Oh my goodness.
That's because they took something from, they took a protein.
Somebody that had.
Well, they took something from a protein from an HIV, HIV virus. All right. So it was giving people false positives for HIV.
Might not be false.
It was a race against time. And back in January, University of Queensland virus experts were confident.
We're aiming to have something that's ready to go into humans in 16 weeks' time.
And in early clinical trials, it looked promising.
The vaccine was shown to be safe and extremely well tolerated in all of our vaccinees.
216 people in all. The problem was the use of an HIV protein used in the molecular clamp technology. It was a small fragment of HIV, and scientists were aware of the risks of false positive results.
There was a theoretical risk of this, we thought, albeit at a very low risk.
In a shock result, everyone who had the vaccine came up with the false positive. The federal government was told on Monday, and jointly today with CSL, it was decided to halt the project.
The risk to vaccine confidence was the principal issue here.
It was a very, very good technology. It was looking like it was going to make antibodies, and it probably would have worked very well as a vaccine.
But it would have been hard to convince the public it was safe.
It's certainly a tough day for the team to get this news.
Especially seeing the very positive data come out of the trial.
It's a very sad time, but also we're very proud of what we have achieved.
So say if somebody in their upper management decided, oh, let's give it, we spent a lot of money in doing this research. Let's just let them, let's just keep the vaccine. All right. These are horrible things that are happening, but we are being programmed. You're being programmed that if a person does not want to take these vaccines, then there's some kind of cuckoo fool, or it's something wrong with them. Okay, so crazy. All right. So this next thing I want to show you, because I know we're getting short on time, and oh my God, I got so much to show y'all. Okay, what time is? Oh, it's 9 o'clock now. Wow, I didn't even realize it's 9 o'clock. So
That's disrespectful. It can't be 9 already.
yes, and yeah, that time went fast. That time went fast. So it's up to y'all if you know, if y'all want to hang on for a little bit more, or do y'all want to just pick it up? We'll set up a date and we can pick it up where we left off later.
Well,
I'm
about ready to go to bed.
I'm in.
I'm ready to take me a shower and go to bed.
I hear you.
All right, so
I'm all in.
I mean, we can stop there. I mean, it's fine. We can stop there. We'll come.
I'd love to continue. Another, like, you know, if you wanted to do like another webinar, I'm like open to attending another one.
Oh, well, I'm definitely, inshallah, I'm definitely going to do the next part. But I'm just looking at y'all because we've been here 2 hours now. So I mean, it's up to
I can hang a half an hour more now. If you don't see me, then you know I fell on the floor. Okay?
Well, look, sister, look.
I can do another half hour.
Okay.
All right. Half hour.
All right, half an hour. All right, we'll do another half hour. Remember, if you don't if you can't hang, remember I tape them, inshallah, so you can see it on YouTube. I send out the links. So if what y'all can do is maybe in the chat box put your name and number on there, and then I can just send you the video. It's up to you.
Good. Come on.
All right.
Let's keep it moving.
All right, here we go, y'all. Round 2. Here we go. All right. So remember what we said last week. We had a quote from Nelson Mandela. It says, "It always seems impossible until it's done."
Mm-hmm.
It always seems impossible until it's done. All right. Mm-hmm. So let's look at a couple of things here. All right. So now the first one is this. This is Bill Gates' wife, and she's talking about, she said, COVID-19 vaccine needs to be distributed worldwide for a faster economic recovery.
Procurement happens not just for Europe. Well, today is a huge day. The Pfizer vaccine may be approved by the FDA by the end of today. Stepping back for a moment, how significant is it that we are on the verge of potentially multiple highly effective vaccines being approved in this country?
It is incredible. I mean, if you think about where we were on March 30th, I don't think any of us would have predicted that by the end of December or mid-December, we'd have vaccine. It is an incredible tribute to the vaccine community, to the scientists who have worked night and day on these vaccines to even get us to this point. It is a really exciting moment for the country.
It is for sure, but you have still warned that we have a stretch of very dark months ahead of us. Why?
And they keep using that term dark.
Mm-hmm.
Remember we talked about dark winter last time?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Well, because it's going to take some time. These are not easy vaccines to manufacture, particularly these first two. So it's going to take some time to manufacture it and, of course, to get it out. And the first people who should get it are the elderly and the healthcare workers. And as Tony Fauci has said, it's probably going to be April or sometime in the late spring when it starts to get to all Americans. And so we still have some dark months ahead here in December and January and February. We're all living the lives that we're living now, mostly at home.
What worries you the most as we sit here this morning?
Well, what worries me the most is how do we get this vaccine out? How do we make sure we get this vaccine out to the far corners of the globe, these first 5 vaccines that are to come? Because everybody needs this vaccine. And if we only get it to the high-income countries, this disease is going to bounce around. We're going to see twice as many deaths, and our recovery of our economies is going to be much, much slower than if we get the vaccine out to everybody.
Twice as many deaths? And explain what you just said to folks.
Yeah, so Northeastern University did a modeling.
So now the game is, and you see her talking about, getting it all out around the world. because they really want to hit Africa. They want to hit these countries of these brown people. Okay.
Remind me of NSSM 200.
Oh yeah, and that's here. That reminder is here. It's a part of this presentation. Okay, but now I'm going to skip. Let's skip. Here's Bill Gates. This is her husband.
That's yep. That's
And what about the trade-off? You just mentioned, obviously, the economic pain. What do you think the right balance is between the trade-off of protecting people's lives and the economic hit? I mean, do you see a situation where the global economy could be virtually at a standstill for a year or even more?
Well, it won't go to zero, but it will shrink. Global GDP is going to take.
And can somebody tell me, for the life of me, why this guy is so jovial in talking about this? Why does he seem so happy?
Because I remember on the interview before, he said vaccines are the best investment he ever made.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So you think about it. If these vaccines are going out worldwide and they are expecting everybody to get them, how much money are they going to make?
Trillions. He making trillions overnight.
Trillions.
He looks like a faggot in Boys Town.
That sounds like something my mother would say.
I don't want this to go up on YouTube. Like this video, Sister Rodney.
He probably is.
Lord have mercy.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe the depression was worse, or
that was funny.
I don't know, but in my lifetime, this will be the greatest economic hit. But you don't have a choice. People act like you have.
Now he just said it. You don't have a choice.
No, we have a choice.
Mm-hmm. All right, but now watch, because the next video is, could COVID-19 vaccinations become mandatory? Okay.
But we know that's coming.
Helen Rella, who advises.
Right.
Or your kids can't go to school.
In the U.S. and overseas, for more on who can legally require people to get the vaccine. Good morning to you, Helen. Thanks so much for being with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
And this is interesting. So many people are already talking about this. And the big question everyone has, can employers require their employees to have the vaccine back to work?
Yep. The answer to that question is generally speaking going to be yes. Because of the terms and conditions of employment, employers are going to be able to require that their employees get the vaccination. Now, that said, there will be exceptions to that. An employee may ask for an accommodation under either the Americans with Disabilities Act, asserting that they have some medical condition that prevents them from being vaccinated, or they might claim an exemption under Title VII, claiming that they have a sincerely held religious belief that would prevent them from being vaccinated. But other than those two instances, the answer we anticipate will be yes.
Well, and then from that, could governments and public schools require you to also get the vaccine?
The consensus now seems to be that the government is not going to go down that route, although there is some precedent for the notion that public safety outweighs individual liberties. But
so they said public safety outweighs your liberties. Okay.
It's a fake war on terror.
So right. So, but see, the real game behind it is that they won't even have to say, oh, it's mandatory. They're going to make it mandatory through the restrictions from what you won't be able to do. All right? Because they're already saying that if you don't get the vaccine, then you won't be able to get on the plane.
Yeah.
If you don't get the vaccine, you can't go to certain events.
Yep.
Here we go. Watch.
Now to the latest on the COVID vaccines. A major airline CEO saying eventually
all international passengers will be required to show proof of vaccination. This is raising new questions on how far vaccine rules will go. Our James Longman is in London with all the details this morning. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Michael. Yeah, COVID-19 has already taken so much from us, not least the chance to go on vacation. But just how will large numbers of people feel safe getting back on a plane again? Well, one airline is saying you may have to have the vaccine before they let you fly.
Overnight, one of the world's top airlines, Qantas, has announced all international passengers may soon be mandated to start getting the COVID-19 vaccination in order to fly.
What we're looking at is how you can have a vaccination, a passport, an electronic version of it that certifies what the vaccine is acceptable to the country you're traveling to.
Guess I'm not going anywhere.
He expects other airlines to now follow suit.
Talking to my colleagues in other airlines around the globe, and I think it's going to be a common theme across the board.
And we could soon see similar requirements in other parts of our lives.
Airlines, businesses, and schools are going to be concerned about legal liability if anybody contracts COVID-19 on a plane or in a school or at a place of employment.
Essential workers will likely be required to get the vaccine, but the pushback against forcing people to take vaccines could be fierce. According to a recent study, half of Americans say they aren't willing to take an FDA-backed vaccine.
There are going to be many lawsuits from people saying, I don't want to take that vaccine, but it might be very difficult for them to prevail on these lawsuits.
There's also talk of an app on your cell phone that'll function a bit like a COVID passport. It'll have details of your inoculation as well as details of the travel restrictions in place in the country you're heading to. There's a lot of new stuff to get used to. Michael?
Sound like the mark of the beast.
Right. Right.
Yep. So I got one question. When we starting this commune?
But now watch y'all, because I want to at least leave us off at this a point where it's going to get real heavy, and we're going to have another session sooner than later. All right, but here we go. Watch this. Here we go. Because I'm trying to get y'all to that point. Here we go. Let me see. I'm going here to the 2 minute.
We begin this morning.
So I'm going to 2:01. All right. So I want you to hear it. All right, because they talk about something similar. All right.
I suspect it's going to be those who are at high risk for exposure. So healthcare workers, frontline healthcare workers.
So he's talking about the people that are they're expecting to get it first.
Hopefully we broaden that definition so we can conceive of other essential frontline workers like teachers and grocery store clerks in that rubric. There's many others. And then also residents of congregate living facilities, so nursing home facility workers and residents. Those are going to be, I think, the top two groups here that will receive the vaccine first.
Meg, let's bring you in here, someone who really knows the business of vaccines. What can we realistically expect once the immunization process actually starts? And I'm hearing there's talk about a vaccine passport. What is that?
Yeah, so this kind of futuristic idea, will we actually have a requirement to get a certificate of vaccination before we can do things. So as Dr. Gupta was talking about, it's going to be a while before most of us can get a vaccine. It's going to be the most high-risk groups at the beginning because of limited supply. And then folks like Dr. Fauci are talking about spring and summer for everybody really being able to get access. And so then what does life start to look like? Do we have to have that certificate of vaccination before getting on a cruise ship or getting on a plane, for example? Experts I've talked with say that is a possibility. But what about like going to concerts or going to a restaurant? Would you need a certificate of vaccination to do that? That might be less likely, but companies like Ticketmaster are already thinking about ideas like that. Could they have a technology, for example, to link your concert ticket to proof that you've been vaccinated? So these are the kinds of things that are getting talked about. None of it is set in stone yet, but experts are saying we should think about these things, what life is going to be like with vaccines. And they are warning that even as more of us get vaccinated, we're still going to have to wear masks and socially distance for a lot of next year.
Yeah, I'm not surprised there. I've been talking with a lot of experts. Have you talked to anybody about, will we be able to choose which vaccine we get? That's been a big question.
Yeah, so at the beginning, probably not, just because supply is going to be so limited. It's going to be take what you can get whenever you can get it. But if this turns into a vaccine we have to take every year, like the flu shot, or maybe every couple years, by then there will probably be enough supply that, like the flu shot, there will be different options we can choose from. For the flu shot, there's a high dose version for people over 65. There's a nasal spray. There are different options, and you can actually call your pharmacy and make sure they've got the one you want before you go in. So down the line, we could see that for COVID vaccines, but at the beginning, it's going to be take what you can get.
Dr. Gupta, there was a kind of what I thought was kind of a disturbing poll from the American Association of Nurses revealing that only 36% said that they would get vaccinated. And I've got to imagine that extends out into the general population. And as we've heard, it's not the vaccine, it's vaccinations. Is that going to be a problem going forward?
You know, I suspect that once we have the data actually publicly available, once this advisory group of external experts levies their decisions and says that the vaccines are effective, very effective in some cases, and broadly safe, that number is going to change. You're going to see broader adoption. I know all of us in healthcare, clinicians, public health experts are eager to see the data because we want a message on the data and say the data is promising. Not only are we interested in getting the vaccine, getting immunized, but you should too, to all Americans out there. So I do think that number is subject to change, Al, because everybody really wants this vaccine to work.
And Meg, I'm sure businesses just want to get back up and running the way they used to. Do you think they'll require employees to get COVID vaccines?
So there is talk about that, but it can be pretty complicated to do. So here's the thing, it's not illegal, but there could be a lot of challenges to it. We do know that, you know, with things like the flu shot now, especially for healthcare workers, a lot of places do mandate an annual flu shot, and other shots like the hepatitis B vaccine. And of course, for schools and daycares, often vaccinations are mandated as well. But there are always exemptions for medical or religious reasons. And especially for a new vaccine like the COVID vaccine, there could be more challenges. But employers are talking about either considering mandating it or at least making it as easy as possible for their employees to get a vaccine, perhaps by even having them on site if that's possible down the road.
Definitely new territory for all of us.
So this stuff is happening, y'all. You know, they're trying to get rid of the religious exemption. You know, that's something that they've been trying to do for a while. But as soon as they, you know, get the fight out of the people, that's what they're going to do. Go ahead.
So this is my thing. Just like we got evidence, why can't we some kind of way show some of this to the public, because they really need to know the undermining diabolical scheme that's being played out. It's like, it's like you have been awakened, and you ever see the movies where most people got vaccine, or all of them got shots, and you're the only one walking around without one, and they're looking at you like really crazy and get him because he's like, he hasn't been vaccinated. We got like a whole group of people that's not going to want to take the vaccine, so we're going to be ousted.
Right, but see, that's the whole thing, and there's a couple of more videos here where we start to really look at that and start to address what they're saying, what their response is going to be to these people. I'll give you an interesting story. I went to Walmart the other day, and I like to go look through the DVDs. This particular day I went and I'm looking through the DVD. I went to go look through the DVDs, and most of the shelves were empty. And I'm looking around like, wait a minute, what's going on? The DVDs, they're missing. And then I saw the DVDs in boxes. So I said, wait a minute. I said, is this store already closed? So I went to one of the workers, and I asked him, I said, are y'all closing? And he was like, excuse me? And I said, are y'all closing? I said, because I see the DVDs are missing and they're, in boxes and stuff. He said, oh, he had this little smirk on his face. He said, oh, it's complicated.
Oh, please.
Like, wait a minute. So, I mean, either you're closing or you're not. And it looked like he was getting ready to, you know, tell me some things, but I kind of, you know, was kind of like a little in a rush. So I just kind of left. But it made me think back to the story when people were laughing at these so-called conspiracy theorists when they said that these Walmarts and stuff were closing and they were going to use them as concentration camps, right? So do you know where they were storing those the children and some of the people from that they were saying that were illegal immigrants?
Behind the toilet?
No, they were storing them in closed Walmarts.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. They were storing
them where?
In closed Walmarts.
Oh, I never even heard that. That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
What, this closed store, Walmart?
These like when
closed down, doors locked.
Yeah.
Oh, got you.
They were housing them in closed Walmarts, and that just made me think about that. And for the rest of that day, I just had this uneasy feeling about it. You know, like Spider-Man got his spider sense. That's kind of
start tingling. You got tingly.
I started tingling. It wasn't for no COVID shot. I was tingling. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? You know? So what I'm going to do is, because I don't want to rush through this information. I think, this is important stuff for you to see, but I'm trying to get up to a point, but I'm not going to rush it. Okay. I think,
I think it's funny they keep saying stuff like inoculate and stuff like that. Because when you get inoculated, that makes you immune to a disease. But the thing about it is, these professionals have already said this COVID-19 vaccination shot will not cure it, and it won't prevent you from getting it. Their hope is, they didn't say nothing about scientific evidence. Their hope is that your body builds up immunity, that your own blood cells get this in its system and start to build up, your white blood cells fight and build up the oxygen in the red blood cells, and then your body it becomes to a point where it can fight it off. So I don't even understand why they're trying to act like, this is this the cure? This is the cure beyond
This
cure.
is the all in all.
Well, see, the thing is, we don't know what's in it, and we don't know if there's sterilization drugs in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the bottom line is that we already heard and got information that Bill Gates has given billions, and he's a part of the whole scheme.
Right.
I mean, but they're trying to change the DNA of the whole entire planet.
Right.
And he's not even a medical professional.
No, he ain't got to be a medical professional. He's a billionaire.
Yep.
He don't care.
That's what I'm saying. Who is he?
Hire.
Right. But that, I mean,
I'm agreeing with you, Raheem, and that's what I'm saying. He's not even a medical professional. Who gives a shoe poo what Bill Gates have to say about getting inoculated and vaccines in the medical field? That's not even his thing.
Bill Gates is going to.
He need to sit down and shut up.
Well,
he's going to.
Yeah.
Let me show you this real quick on Bill Gates, since we have a few minutes left. But I just want you to see how they treat Africa. Watch this.
He's getting paid.
Yeah.
Over 2.5 billion people have no access to safe sanitation. We asked brilliant engineers to help us solve this problem. And one of those engineers actually has proposed a solution where the waste is valuable.
The Omni processor turns sewer sludge, which is kind of nasty, into clean drinking water, electricity, and ash. Pathogen-free. This is where the sludge enters the machine. It goes up this conveyor belt, is fed into these large tubes we call the dryer. That's where we...
Oh, dang. Wait a minute, y'all. I'm sorry. I hit the thing.
I was wondering what that.
No, that was me. I was trying to...
I was like, okay, what's that?
Yeah, but drinking poop.
Yes.
Solution where the waste is valuable.
The Omni processor turns sewer sludge, which is kind of nasty, into clean drinking water, electricity, and ash. This is where the sludge enters the machine. It goes up this conveyor belt, is fed into these large tubes we call the dryer. That's where we boil the sludge. And in the boiling process, we separate the water vapor from the solids. The solids are now dry and we can feed them into the fire. Once we have this very hot fire, we can make high pressure, high temperature steam. And we take that steam and we send it to a steam engine. And the steam engine drives a generator that makes electricity that we use for the processor and also excess electricity that can be delivered back to the community. The water vapor that's created in the boiling process is run through a cleaning system. So we have the cleanest, purest water we can possibly have.
The sanitation system have knowledge in the developed world cannot work in developing countries. So what we need in developing countries is a very simple system.
The entrepreneur that owns this processor will get paid for the input, the sludge. And that same entrepreneur pays for the outputs, the electricity, the water, and the ash.
I am very impressed with the solution we're seeing here. It generates electricity, it generates clean water.
It will grow to every corner of the earth that needs it.
So now this water was human waste 5 minutes ago, I think it said. Yeah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes earlier. All right. Now he's getting ready to drink some.
You look like you want to.
That ain't the same water. That ain't the same water.
You can see the water hanging off his lip. He didn't sit there. That water is right there on his lip. He just touches it against his mouth. He's like,
I have a question.
But this is the type of stuff that they're doing in Africa, the experiments and stuff. Okay, go ahead, Sister Raheem. I'm sorry.
I have a question now. So clear my mind. So the chips, so, because we have to stay 6 feet apart, y'all know they ain't got nothing to do as much as with the COVID-19. It's them setting us up for this chip that's inside of this vaccine, where they'll be able to rule and be able to, this technology that they're going to use to really control humanity.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead, sister. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I want to know if you have documentation or been able to uncover some of that information.
Well, see if they did that and they was found out that they put a chip in you like that, then they could easily be sued. That's not the way they're going to do that. The way they're going to do that is people are going to do it on their own. People are going to do it on their own. And we're going to discuss that later. But they're going to do it out of comfort, ease of it. Okay.
They're already doing it now. When you touch your phone, you can use your thumbprint and your face and also your eye. Your eye unlock your phones and your computers and stuff.
Right.
They already started that.
But I'm going to show you exactly what they're going to do, what they're trying to do with that technology. All right. There's a couple of things that they're trying to do, but I'm going to show you exactly what's going on with that, inshallah. All right.
Are you going to also cover?
I got one better.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, y'all.
There's one better. Look at your debit card. And
chip on your card.
Chip to the left side of your debit card.
Credit card, chip in it. Yeah.
Oh, but it's gonna get worse than that though. Okay. But the thing is, we'll definitely continue this, inshallah, or God willing, so that you can see some of these things and you can, tell people about it. Just yes.
We're going to get some security for you, brother. The security is Allah. The security is God.
My suggestion is, if you get some security, it better be the fruit of Islam, because I don't know. Call up Farrakhan.
No, it's gonna be Brother Naseem and Brother Brian. They go. There you go, Brother Brian. No, I'm I'm not worried about that, y'all. That's
No, I'm messing with you. I'm just messing with you. No, let me tell you something, brother. This stuff is powerful. That it opens up the third eye of intellect, intellect, and our people look at us like all that conspiracy stuff you believe,
right?
But it's real. It's real.
It's real. Yep. Most definitely. All right, y'all. I am going to, because like I said, I don't want to hold everybody up. But what we're going to do is, or let's do it right now. Let's plan the next session. When are y'all thinking?
Okay.
I was thinking about the
Tomorrow
first week
night
in January.
He said tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night at 9. I mean, what, tomorrow night at 9? I could actually do it tomorrow night at 9, but I meant
to say 7.
Tomorrow night at 7. I mean,
yeah.
I want to get this stuff in because I want to give you this information. I was up all night. All week just trying to, put it in the right order to make the flow right. But y'all let me know. Y'all let me know realistically when y'all want to do it. And
what does everyone think while we're here? We might as well set it.
Say it again.
Can we take a vote for tomorrow night?
If y'all want to, we can.
Well, let's take a vote.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Or you could tell us how long it would take you to put together what you want us to see next, and how long that time frame would be for you, and then we can go from there. What's comfortable for you?
Sister, when I set up this information, we got about 10 presentations on this information alone, right here.
Wow.
It's over 300 slides right here.
Wow.
All right, well, let's do it.
So, but the point that I want to get to is it's close. So, y'all let me know. Do y'all want to wait another 2 weeks, or y'all want to wait a week?
We usually do Fridays, and next Friday is Christmas.
Right.
Yeah, can't do that.
Christian, yeah.
So, what about
New Year?
Y'all gotta let me know. Y'all
Where's the calendar?
What's wrong with the 26th? That Saturday night. Anybody going out? Everything's shut down except for Delaware. They letting people in. I'm laughing because that's my second home in Delaware. But the 26th.
Yeah, the 26th is a Saturday. Yeah, yep. It's
Saturday night. Saturday night get together.
Saturday night get together.
How does that everyone?
Get the popcorn.
Get the popcorn ready. That's the theme. Get the popcorn ready. So y'all think about the 26th?
Yeah,
that's fine. I'm not going anywhere.
Works for me. So just send everything out and I can disperse.
Ain't nobody going nowhere.
I know.
All right. So we're looking at the 26th at what time? 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody finished running around.
Is that
it's gonna be some good sales out there. We can go shopping early. Yes.
All right. Is that good for everybody?
Good for me.
All right. So, God willing, or inshallah, we'll hook up again on the 26th.
May Allah continue. May Allah continue to reward you, my brother.
And you,
alhamdulillah. May Allah keep us safe.
Yeah, and you too all. I truly appreciate you giving me an ear, and may Allah bless all of you, and God bless all of you. But you gotta make it happen. All right. So I'm gonna close out with a clause real quick. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Ameen. All right, y'all. It was a good one. I'll have this one. I'll have this one up soon for y'all. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. No problem. Take care. All right. So
thank you.
Good night.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Good night.
Walaikum assalam, Medea.
Walaikum assalam, beloved.
Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed.
Oh, y'all hilarious. Y'all
Where
are
else we
hilarious.
going?
Go, Frida. Don't fall out yet.
I'm right. See you guys the 26th.
All right. All
Bye-bye.
All
All
right.
right, bye.
Twitter. Let me see.
One more.
That's my little feet. Oh, slim. Cause your feet are smaller than mine for a man. I mean.
All right, let me see something. Where's the chubby chump at? Oh, here you go. Sharon. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, okay. This is what you call. This is closed meeting.